Hello, this is Amrita. This is day 50 of my fast, and I wanted to do a little video. I never thought I'd get this far. I haven't been aiming to get to day 50. The plan was 21 days, and I just kind of gone from there. And so I wanted to share a few things that are coming to me. So, first of all, Facebook. I am naked, but it's friggin' hot here, and I'm not going to show you anything that's going to scare you or excite you. So, let's continue. So, people are asking me when I see them, how many days have you been fasting? And I really start to not like this word fasting anymore because it just sounds so strict and so serious. And so what I'm calling it now these days is that I'm on the juice or plugged in, because I truly feel plugged in to an amazing energy source. Haven't had any food in 50 days and I'm not wasting away. Got plenty of energy, my mind is clear, and so I feel part of finding the way to be plugged in is that ultimately we are a hollow tube for life force to flow through, but over our lives we're clogging this up with all of the obstructing foods and also emotions and energetics play their part in blocking this clear flow. It's been a lot of work. I've been 2.5 years on this journey now. And in the beginning, fasting was very difficult because I was quite clogged up. And when we jump into a fast, but when our channels of elimination are not open yet, then the waste is releasing in our cells, but it's not able to go out of our body. And so we can experience really uncomfortable symptoms, which I certainly did in my first few fasts and in the beginning of this journey. So much discomfort. And so over the last 2.5 years, I did quite a bit of fasting, but also mostly was the journey in between fasting, just eating mostly fruit and vegetables as my diet, and obviously delicious dressings. I'm the salad dressings queen, gotta have a nice dressing. And yeah, then there's times, chapters where I let the whole thing go and I just ate whatever. But generally, I was always with the agenda that I'm still on this journey of clearing obstruction. And of course, my goodness, the biggest clearing is the emotions that come up. They're really the foundation for getting well. This fast has been very non-eventful in terms of physical stuff coming up, even though I have had some big releases from my gut, from my womb. And now I actually have some moles that have gone like a luminous red, bright red, pink, and now they're starting to disappear. That's like quite an interesting physical thing, but nothing heavy. This fast has all been about the emotional obstruction coming up, which has been so huge. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. What else to do but to release this stuff? So that's why I call this plugged in now, because there's a part of me that's just about found the socket and just about plugged a little wire into that socket of universal energy. And that's what fuels me now. Like every single day, I have really good energy. I'm really clear, which is not the case when I'm eating. Except when there's something brewing to come up emotionally or physically, and I'll have a few days of feeling quite heavy, or less than a few days, and then it'll pass. Done, we're back to clear. This is really showing me that all this kind of feelings of heaviness, emotional or physical heaviness, is just obstruction. So that's a really interesting part of this journey now, is there's less obstruction in my system, that I can really see it for what it is, rather than just being in a system that's completely obstructed. I'm not able to separate or make sense of anything. So it's been a big journey. Second thing, on a physical level, as I shared before, my energy has been really fantastic. Um, on New Year's Eve, I danced from dusk until dawn. And then I helped make the community breakfast, and then I went down to the river for a swim, and then I helped pack up the stuff, and then I was really tired. But I didn't even think I was going to make it to midnight. And that was day 44. So plenty of energy. Physically, I've lost weight, but also what's interesting is that my weight has stopped going down in the last 2 weeks. I haven't lost any weight. People are always kind of worried about losing a lot of weight when they're fasting, or maybe like that's what some of us want. Well, that's what I wanted at the start anyway. The difference between really getting to learn and understand the art of detox as opposed to just, oh, I'll just drink juice for 3 days or water for 3 days, is that I feel very, very blessed to have found my way to begin to study how the body truly works and the art of detox. So this for me is all about losing waste, not weight. When we go on like restrictive diets, we'll lose weight and then we'll pack it on afterwards and more. And for so many of us, this has been the story of our life. However, with this, when we support our system in detox to actually help get the old stuff out as well, we're not just drinking juices and water and just presuming that all the waste will come out. We're actually actively getting the stuff out, actively getting our lymphatic system moving. Then it's waste that comes out of us, and particularly on the emotional level. And I found in between fasts that no matter how much I ate, I never, ever, ever even got close to the weight that I was before I started. And I mean that in a really good way. There was so much just bulk and inflammation, and just swelling in my system, which really was interesting for me to experience. It really showed me that it was actually waste that's been lost, as well as weight. So when we begin a fasting journey or a detox journey, even if that's just cutting out some of the most obstructing foods, and if we find ourselves like losing a lot of weight really fast, it means that our body has been built on waste and the body is just kicking that out. And so this is why it's so important between the deeper detoxes to rebuild our bodies in a good way from foods that aren't seen by the body as acid waste. I haven't been doing it perfect. I walk this path in the feminine way. We've got to just love ourselves and sometimes just let the whole thing go, because that's actually what the emotions need, and we come back when we can. So I've actually heard that people on very long fasts, their body has started to build muscle. I'm thinking this is like a little bit what's happening now, that I've been the same weight for the last 2 weeks. As I said, been dancing till dawn, been really, really busy, on the go, very active. I have stopped going to the gym in the last 2 weeks. But I've still been so active. The weight is not dropping. So that's kind of the feeling that for now, my system has lost the waste that it wants to lose. And I do have an intuition that there's some stuff I'm tapping into, ancestral stuff that my system is carrying that is attached to some physical weight, and that they're very tied, and that the body will hold on to that weight until we, me, soul, body, and help, find our way to release that. So that's just the sharing about the weight side of things. This is one of my favorite things about this fast, is that I only get waves of hunger when an emotion is coming up. Never feel hungry otherwise at all. I feel really far away from food, actually. And so this has been so interesting. Sometimes it's really obvious it's emotional. For example, I'll get a message or a phone call from someone that's a little bit upsetting, and soon after I'll feel the want to eat. Okay, that's pretty obvious. I'll give you an example of when it wasn't obvious. Is a New Year's Eve. I'm dancing, I'm doing my thing, and next minute I'm surrounded by all these gorgeous men, and they kind of want to dance with me, and I'm trying to dance with them, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do this very well. And then I felt really hungry, and I thought, I'm just going to go sit in my little spot for a moment and sit with this. And what's so interesting is that had I not been fasting, I would have just thought, oh, I've been dancing lots, I need a snack. However, that was emotion coming up, that I felt unsure. I didn't know what to do. I didn't feel ease. I wasn't who my mind wanted me to be in that moment. There's been many moments like this where the hunger has come up and I've just stopped going, there's some emotional thing coming up. I haven't even been aware. And then I'm able to tap into it to go, I'm actually feeling a bit lonely now, or I'm actually feeling like not good enough, or something's coming up. So for me, this has been the gold of this fast so far. So yeah, just lastly, just wanting to share, it's day 50. I was really just kind of meditating on this last night as I was going to bed. What's this all about? And I was really feeling that there's two pulls happening in me, like opposite directions. And one direction is the pull to just keep going with this juicy time, with this plugged in. It feels like there's parts in my system that are beginning to kind of pop open inside, as if like light and air is able to get into them for the first time. And I'm beginning to feel new connections to nature, new connections to universe, new feelings that I've never felt before, kind of like communion with universal feelings or something like this. And also I'm starting to get access to areas in my body that have been kind of undercover, whether by obstruction, physical emotion, where memory energy is being repressed, and it's slowly I'm getting images reappearing, memories coming back to me, and emotions coming up of where I might have let something go, just being very, I'm kind of someone, and I get in trouble for this, that like I'm kind of too easy just to kind of forgive and, love and light and look, it's okay, you're only human and whatever. And yeah, I know it's good to be like that in a way, but the body still remembers when there has been abuse and when there has been hurt and when there has been trauma. And yeah, that's what's coming up for me. That's what's re-revealing the parts of my body. I'm beginning to have access now to this. And this is a huge, huge pull for me. It's like a firecracker rocket up my arse. It's just like, whoa, this is like such a blessing, such a prayer answer to be able to just barely now be able to touch on these parts of me. Because now I'm beginning to realize I'm not mad, or that mad, or mad in a mad, not good way. I've been aware that I've been kind of blocked with this and that, and I thought maybe it's just my mind, it's just trying to, be perfect. But now I'm aware that there is actually areas in my system that are blocked energetically. They're holding onto energetics, they're holding onto memory, and both from my lifetime, but also there's a lot of heavy stuff that, I think most of us are carrying from our lineage, that's carried in our bodies. And so the pull just to be with this is so strong right now, and I'm already so deep in it, that to eat for the sensation of enjoying food just seems like so minuscule, so like it's just, there's nothing in comparison to the depths I feel in this journey. And so that's one really, really strong pull. And also, this is not a fight to be in this juicy, plugged in state right now. It's not a difficulty at all. And I really, really walk this path in the feminine way. I'm not going to stay fasting if every day I want to eat. Like, it's just no point. That's not what life's about. Okay, and then the pull in the other direction is on New Year's Eve, I had like the tiniest sip of a cacao drink that had rice milk or something, and my whole system just had to spit it out, spit it out, spit it out. And I couldn't believe, like, food, which it was the milk, it's just so far. Food is just so far from where my system vibrates right now. It was just like, no, 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 no. Like, if we're going back to food, we're going to start with the real high vibe fruits first. I've been learning a lot, particularly last year, is like the importance of being grounded, really grounded and really in the body. And so, as I was pondering day 50 last night, you know, a little bit of fear was coming up. I'm like, wow, I really am in I am in another dimension. I'm going about, I'm doing my things, got plenty of energy, and I feel clear and clearer than normal. But I'm a far off way from my system, you know, wanting to feed from food, which is a much denser energy than what I'm feeding off now. And so the fear of, wow, I don't want to go too far. I still want to stay really grounded. Well, I feel grounded. I still want to stay, yeah, it's that I still want to stay in the safety zone of what I know. I also really acknowledge that fear is totally okay. Like, I'm done with being hard on myself over, you know, giving in to a fear. It's not even giving in, it's self-care at times as well. And in the beginning of this journey, I often felt I could go further into a fast, but I didn't because I had the fear. And I just stopped the fast and just let things unfold. And here I am now, day 50. We'll just see how it goes. Like I said, when I tasted that milk in the cacao, my system just didn't want anything to do with food. So I often feel maybe it's a little bit related to sometimes, now I was the opposite. I'd always binge if I was going an emotional thing, but I know that another response, and particularly like in animals and children, when they're going through a big healing or an emotional thing, they won't eat. It's just so that they can feel and they can pass it through their system. And I have a feeling the depths of what's coming up for me now with the memories and things arising from my cells is that my system just really doesn't want to have the density or interference of food, so I can just be with this for a little bit longer. But we'll see, you know, I might break the fast tomorrow. I don't know. I have no plan and I have no kind of goal of what this has to be. I'm also excited because I love food and flavors. I don't know. It's such a journey. Like, food is still so known, no matter how much amazing flavors and combinations. But this journey of like going into the body is just so unknown. That's my few words on day 50. Just gonna see where it goes. I know there's so much fear out there for people when they're fasting. You know, people don't really express fear, you know, when I've been eating shit, but I understand it. I'm okay. I'm really good. I'm not skin and bone. I'm not wasting away. My mind is clear. I've got my feet on the earth, walking this in the feminine way, and let's just see what evolves, what feels right, and just let go and let life guide. Sending much love and a message to live your nectar.